Basketball players are tall. The average height of a D1 basketball player is about 6'5". JT Rock towers above that average, about 8 inches taller. He is tall amongst tall people.
I had heard an old wives' tale that when he was pretty little, that if you measure a little boy when they're about 2.5 and you double it, you get an idea of about how tall they'll be, plus or minus 2 inches. So at 2.5, he was supposed to be like 7'2" to 7'4", and I thought, that's never gonna happen.
It happened all right. JT stands 7 feet 1 inch tall so far, and he's always loved basketball. That's a rare combination that can unlock avenues of potential.
As soon as he was big enough and taller, could walk around, we had the little Tykes hoop in the living room, and we're shooting hoops indoors. Paige probably didn't appreciate it a whole lot because we had some breakable items, but I would say, you know, just being on the driveway with him when he's 5, 6, 7 years old, you know, and then we started getting into the big Sioux League, playing on teams and things, and he was always tall.
JT can't help but stand out. People always want to know the same things. How's the weather up there? Do you play basketball? Can you get me something off the top shelf? And so on. It could get really old really quickly, but JT understands he's a spectacle.
I guess it doesn't necessarily get old anymore. It's just kind of, it happens so often that I'm used to it, and it doesn't really, my brain just kind of goes to a default response like, okay, we have this question, so now we just like spit out the answer, and then it's like, don't even have to think about it.
There are no definitive studies on how many people in the world are 7 feet tall, but estimates hover around 3,000. That's less than 1,000%. Being in such rare air, you have no choice but to have that as a core part of your identity. But JT has enough awareness to not let his height define him.
My height is always going to be a connotation with who I am. I guess kind of personality-wise, just kind of a real-life person, I guess, so to speak. Just kind of down to earth and not getting too big of a head with the fame and everybody knowing me and stuff like that. To just be kind of one and the same.
He's just a great human overall, and I think that's great. We need more people in the world that are just kind of happy to be wherever they are and appreciate their circumstances, I think. And we're fortunate that JT is there, thinking that, you know, he's pretty lucky. He knows he's lucky, but he also knows that he has to keep working.
When you so clearly physically stand out, it's nice to have a place to fit in.
Basketball has been another way that I can connect with a lot of people, and some people don't play, but they really like to watch and kind of have their thoughts about the game and stuff like that. And it's fun, to talk to those people too, because they see the game from a different angle than I would, because I feel like I see it in a different way than a lot of people. He's
a really friendly kid. He's pretty, he's very talkative. And so I think that he will just keep working on a kid. Like if he has, I think of a teammate that he had on his summer team, and he was excited, like, hey, this kid finally talked to me after like 2 seasons together.
Whether it's team meals, hanging out with classmates, going on basketball outings, or helping others, JT would rather blend in than stand out.
I am very talkative. I will talk to everybody about just about anything. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to strike up conversations with people who I don't always know very personally, and it's just, I like to kind of speak my mind, I guess.
He's found a place on the basketball court. He has that rare combination of skill and size. Most tall players feel uncoordinated, but JT, not so much.
I've always been tall. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, I woke up today and now I'm really tall. It does, and that's kind of a thing that I've been fortunate to be tall the whole time. So my coordination's a little bit better and my footwork is a little bit better.
Many tall people suffer growing pains, but JT didn't seem to experience that.
I get asked that question a lot, and I think that if it hurt, he didn't recognize it as pain because he always felt that way. That's his norm, and so it didn't register as pain for him if it did hurt. I don't remember him ever complaining about it.
The 7-footer had a breakout junior season. He averaged 18 points and almost 4 blocks per game and was named the Player of the Year in South Dakota Class AA. his skill gets overshadowed sometimes by the headline of his height.
You see a tall kid, oh, he's playing basketball because he's tall. And we actually got compliments from a lot of people along the way at different tournaments and things about how skilled he was, and like, hey, what's his name? And we're going to remember his name.
JT still has one more year of high school basketball in front of him, but the sky is the limit. Hopes for JT's future definitely include basketball, but it doesn't single it out.
Academically, it would be great if he can get that degree, because that's pretty important too, and that's why he's going to play basketball at Iowa State is for that degree. As long as he's happy and takes care of himself and takes care of others and kind of gives back to the community he's a part of, that would be my goals for him.
All right, Jandy, a lot of things about this story. A great kid, by the way, of course, we know that, but he might still be growing. He's 7'1" right now, but he might get bigger than that?
Yeah, he got to 7 foot in high school and then all of a sudden to 7'1" last year, so who knows? He's not focused on it, though.
Yeah.
Some people really focused on want to find out their growth plates and see exactly how tall they're going to get. He's not worried about it, but he did just turn 17.
He still has another year of high school at Lincoln, but he's committed to Iowa State. And TJ Otzelberger, the former South Dakota State University coach, but what's the relationship there?
Well, JT grew up a huge SDSU fan, and he remembers when he was in middle school looking over at the bench at TJ Otzelberger and saying, I'm going to play so well that somebody like that is going to recruit me. He didn't say necessarily I'm going to play for TJ someday, but then after it came full circle, he committed to Iowa State. He remembered thinking that, when he was in middle school and saying, cool, that's really neat how things come full circle sometimes.
All right, Jandy, great story. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.